What is up, everybody? Archangel here with a brand new video for you guys today. Today is about Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. I mentioned my previous Assassin's Creed video, which will be linked to this video at the end of this video. Check that out. It's about Assassin's Creed 3 and how Ubisoft missed an opportunity to make the game even better than it already was. But today we're going to talk about Ragnarok, mostly because I want to talk about what I expect to see and what I want to see and how I hope Ubisoft goes, another path with evolution. And when I say evolution, I'm not talking about like, evolution, but like growth of a franchise. We saw Ubisoft put Assassin's Creed on a very good path with Origins. Origins was like the groundwork of, making Assassin's Creed good again. Because for a while, Assassin's Creed was a struggling franchise. People lost interest. People didn't care about it. Before Origins and Odyssey, Assassin's Creed kind of died after Assassin's Creed 4. After Assassin's Creed 4, people just lost interest in Assassin's Creed. People saw it as, just like Madden, just like Call of Duty, as one of those franchises where the game doesn't actually change, you just in a new skin. And it's kind of like that. When it came to Unity, when it came to Syndicate, people just was not interested. Those two games were huge flops. So much so that Ubisoft had to cancel other, not platforms, but other ideas. There's ideas for an Egyptian Assassin's Creed before we had Odyssey, before we had Origins, and that got canceled. There was ideas for a feudal Japan Assassin's Creed that got canceled. So they had plans for Assassin's Creed that got canceled because they had to go back to the drawing board. They had to figure out how to change the game, how to evolve the game, how to make the game good. And Origins was, the platform to start it. Origins was their game to show, hey, here's Assassin's Creed, here's how it's going to work from here on out, here's the rebirth, here's the Phoenix, rises from the ashes. The unfortunate thing about it is, when it came to Odyssey, they didn't really evolve. They played it safe. They stuck with the exact same kind of formula that Origins had, which is good, but it didn't change. It kind of stayed the same. In a way, it didn't evolve in a way that we wanted to evolve. It didn't have the same kind of appeal that Origins had. Origins had these boss fights, these community boss fights, where you're going against Egyptian gods like Serket and Sobek. You're going against Sekhmet. I think I pronounced that right. So you're going against these Egyptian gods. You're also fighting ancient Egyptian pharaohs like Kings Ramses, Akhenaten, Nefertiti, and Tutankhamun. You didn't get the same kind of feelings with Odyssey. Odyssey, you're not fighting, Zeus. You're not fighting Ares. You're not fighting Egyptian gods. You're just fighting, the enemies in the game. So there's nothing unique about it. There's nothing special about it. It was a play it safe. The comparison I'll give you is Origins is Star Wars: A New Hope, and Odyssey is so for those who don't get the reference or don't get the comment, when Force Awakens first came out, people looked at it as basically a copy paste of a New Hope, but not as good. And basically what that meant was that like J.J. Abrams played it safe. He in order to make sure people enjoyed Force Awakens, he made it to a point to where it's enough like a New Hope so people enjoy it but don't hate it. So play it safe. Ubisoft did the exact same thing when it came to Odyssey. They made it just like Origins, but didn't have everything that Origins had that made Origins special. It didn't have, again, the fights against Egyptian gods, the fights against, Egyptian pharaohs. Like, they could have had you fighting against, like, ancient kings from that time period, or fighting against Greek gods. But didn't have that. So what I hope to see in Ragnarok is evolving not just from what Odyssey and Origins is as a game itself. First off, keep the same mentality that those two games have. To keep the same formula, keep the same play style, the same mechanics, the same combat, but evolve in the storytelling. Don't just be a game about Vikings. Don't just be a game where they're speaking of Norse mythology as like in a past tense format. Have Norse mythology involved in a game fully. Have you fighting in Norse realms. Have you fighting against Norse creatures. Have you fighting against Norse gods. Have that being in the game, because that will make your game even better than it could be. Imagine how many people you can grab into your game if if they feel like you can go against freaking Thor or if you can go against Loki, or if you can go against Jormungandr, if you can go against Hel, if you can go against any kind of Norse god. So imagine that being a thing. Imagine if some of the Norse gods are allies who you can talk to and get wisdom from. The Norse gods have to be involved in the game to a T, not just statues around the game, but actually involved in the game, so you can hear them, you can see them, you can interact with them. It needs to have that. I will say, just look at God of War. It doesn't have to be God of War, but look at God of War when it came to how that was with Norse. Kind of try to fuse that with what you have with Origins. I feel like if you do that, if you made the game with the Norse with the Norse mythology is a very strong point in the game, you have the chance to have a very successful game. People love Vikings. People love Norse mythology. You have a chance to strike gold with this game, Ubisoft. Don't miss it. Don't fuck it up. Do not fuck it up. You have a chance to strike gold when it comes to Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. You need to heavily evolve Norse mythology. You need to heavily evolve, the Norse gods, the Norse realms, and things like that. And you can still be true to Viking culture and Viking nature, and have Viking, assassinations and things like that. But again, it needs to have that extra oomph, and that extra oomph that Origins had. Origins wasn't just Cleopatra and pharaohs. It was also Greek. There's freaking literally Egyptian gods you can fight. You literally have a DLC where you fight Akhenaten and King Ramses and Tutankhamun and Nefertiti, the most powerful names from that time period when it comes to pop culture. Do the same thing here. Make sure the game's good, make sure you deliver, and make sure to be true to the Norse mythology, be true to the Viking history, but also have fun. It's a video game. You can still be realistic when it comes to getting things right when it comes to historical accuracy and events, but don't forget to allow us to have fun. And having us be able to fight Norse gods will be a way to have fun. With all that said, guys, this is the video. Think of watching below. Enjoy. Leave any thoughts you have in the comments below. What do you want to see Ragnarok? Let me know. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.